Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a getting close to late Thursday night, August the 14th, 2025, or if you are watching on the replay, it is now August the 15th, 2025, pretty much at the midpoint of August. Got a couple more weeks to go before we end, pretty much unofficially, we end the summer in basically 2 weeks with Labor Day weekend. And we'll finish off the great month of the dog days of August, and we'll get into the beautiful month of September in, like I said, 2 weeks. That's that. But, like I said, if you're watching on the replay, it is now Friday, August the 15th, 2025. Thank you all for watching right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel. YouTube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video and subscribe right now to this very channel. It's getting closer and closer, kind of going up and down over the last couple months. Getting close to 850 subscribers. Gained a few. Now we're pretty much 6 away from 850. Hopefully we'll get there. I don't know when, but we'll get there, hopefully. And then on the road to 1,000! Hopefully probably by sometime next year. But, you know, slow and steady wins the race. But that's that. And we're 2 away on the Rant channel. The ever so popular PG Rant channel. The #1 Rant channel on YouTube and in life itself. So we're getting close to 500 subscribers there. So hopefully by Labor Day we'll hit that 500 mark and then go over it. And then we're on our road to 600 and beyond. But thank you all for watching and subscribing to my channels. And if you haven't subscribed yet, well, do it now! Win to win, do it now! So subscribe to my channels. All the links are down below in the gobbledygook. And you can leave a comment on any one of my videos from the past. Now. We're talking about now. Everything's happening now. It's happening now. If you missed it, well, fuck you. What happened then? Well, you missed it. And in the future, Conan. So, do that right now. But if you leave stupid comments, you'll get sent to the Shadow Realm where Satan and Ozzy will eat your soul. So, don't do that. You want to do it? Do it on your dead channel that nobody cares about. And that's that. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell so not all notifications so you don't miss anything, because if you do, you're pretty much SOL, and I think you all know what that means by now. I don't think I have to tell you. You missed it. You missed it. And that's that. And if you're watching this video for the first time, you coming around my channel, if you're up at this late hour of the overnight, if you're just floating around YouTube and you see my gorgeous sexy face with new teeth, you see my gorgeous sexy face in my video, and you're thinking about, what the hell is this guy talking about, and why is he such a wild and crazy guy, then hit that subscribe button down below on my channels, and do what I just said about 2 seconds ago. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit that bell. And when you do subscribe to my channels, I should say, as we always say in the business, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab yourself a nice cold one. Relax, sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, well, you can pretty much go fuck yourself. And get out. Go to somebody else's channel. That's that. You don't like me? Don't give a fuck. I'm still better than you, and you know it. And we move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is, like I said, it is a late Thursday night. I am backed up with videos. I apologize for that. I had a really busy day, and I didn't get home till, late. So, right before 11 o'clock, because I was out, got my teeth done, had some errands to run, with the missus, of course, and yeah, we pretty much like after we got home, we pretty much zonked out. So I zonked out. I just got up a little while ago. Mrs., she's fiddling around in the bedroom, not with herself. Though I don't know that, but I might, if she is, I might have to go and help her. But that's another story for another time. But anyway, so I'm a little bit backed up. So I am going away tomorrow to Jersey, but that's late in the day, like 5 o'clock. But I do have an errand to run in the afternoon, and then I'm pretty much going right to Jersey right after that. So my reviews are going to be coming a little bit late. So I'm going to do this one tomorrow. Pretty much a little bit later tomorrow morning, because after this video, because I'm pre-recording this right now. So when you see it, it'll be in the morning, and I'll be sleeping. But when I do get up officially tomorrow morning, I will do my NXT review, and then my Raw review pretty much right after that. So 2 morning videos, because I do have to get out of here early in the afternoon, and then right to Jersey. Because, as we all know, can't see it because it's dark, but in this moment, can't wait for that. Saturday night, baby. Well, Saturday all day, I'll be in this moment kicking ass and taking names and being with the beautiful people that they are. So, can't wait. So, Saturday in Communicado. I will not be around. I know Triple Mania is that night. I am not watching it. I know it's at 9 o'clock, but at 9 o'clock, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be on the side of the stage rocking out with my Cool Cute, with In This Moment and the other bands that are playing on that show. The final show of the Hell Hath No Fury tour. And then taking a little break, coming back in September for the next tour, the new name tour. I said Dark Days, but it's not. I think it's the Black Mass tour. So that starts in September. It goes all the way through, I think, Halloween. So we got that. I don't know when the album's coming out. I kind of do know, but I'm not telling you. But they're shooting for the fall, or maybe by Christmas. But the first single is out, Heretic, with Kim Dracula. So that's epic. Buy it now on Apple Music. Download it on Spotify. Watch the... it's not an official video yet, but watch the audio video on YouTube. Give it a like. Give it a thumbs up. Because it's a banger. It'll melt your face. And make your ears bleed and your eyes will pop out of your head. And your brain will just melt too. So it's just a banger. Another banger from In This Moment. Every song they have is a banger, pretty much. So, ITM 9, the next album, that's officially, well, not officially, they don't have officially named the album yet. We don't even know when it's coming out yet. But tentatively it's titled ITM 9, because it's their 9th album in the span of 20 fucking years. 9 albums in 20 years, I mean, that's fine, we got that, but can't wait for the concert Saturday night. Meeting my good friends and chilling with the missus. Losing all our money tomorrow night, pretty much. We're gonna boogie. We're gonna waste our money, have good food, and then waste our money. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what Friday is. We're gonna go play the slots. Lose most of our money. And then, pretty much we're gonna, boogie, and then, we'll boogie in bed, if you know what I mean. And I don't even have to really boast my conquest, but, I just like to. Because half the people on YouTube that stalk me and obsessed with me don't get any pussy, so. Because all they get is tiny little cocks. But it is what it is. So, I will boast about it. I will brag about it. And I'll also brag about 2 million hits. And I'll also brag about 6,000 hits on my latest short on my rant channel. And I'm not doing it for clout. Just saying. You have no proof. So. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna have fun this weekend. And other people are gonna be wishing they were me. And that's pretty much it. So tomorrow, lose my money, boogie, in 2 ways, and then pretty much Saturday, all day within this moment, and I can't wait. And then Sunday, we have a continental breakfast free of charge, and then I'm out. I won't even be back till like the evening, but by the time I get back, I'm gonna take a nap. But I'll be back Sunday with your SmackDown review, Collision review, and if I have some time, I might, well, I'll do TNA Ring of Honor probably Monday, because I did watch the show tonight, the shows tonight. TNA, not so good. For a go-home show, TNA, even though my demon assassin, my demon wife, the co-founder of the Prophecy was on the show, you know her as Rosemary, she was there, and a lot of the knockouts, that's good and everything, but most of the show, there was a few good parts, but, you know, the show was kind of bland. And Ring of Honor was actually interesting. That's that. Big news out of the Ring of Honor tapings, and it's kind of a spoiler. AEW has signed Ace Austin, one half of ABC, with our good buddy, my good buddy, Chris Bay. So Ace Austin, you know, he left TNA. He was in New Japan for a little bit, and came back to TNA, and multiple time TNA Tag Team Champions with Chris Bay and ABC, part of the Bullet Club, by the way. And also one hell of an X-Division champion multiple times as well. So now he's in AEW. He's all elite. I think it's a great signing with Tony Khan. Don't know how they're going to use him. So we got that. Also, Kota Ibushi. Ibushi has re-signed with AEW. He's going to be in that, well, we'll talk about a certain cage match. We'll get to that in a bit, but Ibushi has re-signed with AEW, and now they get Ace Austin. I think he's gonna have some good matches. I think maybe go for the TNT title, maybe the Unified title. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But great signing for AEW. We get that. Also, one final thing we're getting to the review. TNA, and we talked about the TNA TV deal. Well, it's getting really, really close to a possible deal. And today was big talk that they're going to go to Wednesday nights to compete with AEW. I wonder why. It just seems that WWE / TNA are competing with AEW to basically put AEW out of business. And it's failing miserably. Having shows on the same fucking day as an AEW pay-per-view. I mean, they're doing it next Sunday with Heatwave, which is going to be at 7 o'clock, but Forbidden Doors at 1 p.m. And I think that's going... And they have a strict run time. You think Tony Khan's gonna care about that because it's in London? Huh? I mean, it is 6 o'clock when Forbidden Door starts at 6. It's going to end at least at 11, 10 or 11 at most, but, so, here it's going to go, I think it's going to end at least between 4 and most likely 5 o'clock, and then we take a little break, we have a late lunch, and then we go right into Heatwave at 7. So, I think Forbidden Door is going to destroy Heatwave. You know, there's good matches at Heatwave, but I think WWE and, you know, God forbid TNA they have emergence tomorrow going head-to-head with SmackDown. We know SmackDown's going to kill that, but I just think it's a really, really, really bad idea by Nick Codman and the Game, Paul the Vic, I think it's a bad idea for WWE pay-per-views to go head-to-head with an AEW pay-per-view, no matter what it is. All in, all out, Wrestle Dream. I'm just hypothetically saying that, but because they get swallowed up. They get swallowed up. It happened last month with Money in the Bank. And no, I think it was not Money in the Bank. Sorry, it was Battleground going head to Great American Bash. I think going head to head with Double or Nothing. I think it was. So, and Double or Nothing killed that. But so we're doing it next Sunday. They want to do a, I think they're doing it in September, I believe, with, All Out Weekend. They've been talking about a secret, main roster pay-per-view going head-to-head with All Out Toronto, which is September I forgot what date that is, at the end of September. So, you know that main roster pay-per-view is probably going to get swallowed up, unless, even if Roman's on the show. I think All Out might trump it, but, we'll see. But that's a Saturday night, too, I believe, All Out Saturday, it's a Saturday show. So, WWE wants to do a main roster pay-per-view on, I think it's September the 20th. Something like that. But, we got that. Then they're talking about Cena's final match happening on the same night as the final AEW pay-per-view of the year, World's End. But now, in an update on Ringside News, December the 13th, which is Saturday, is Saturday's main event in Boston, which is Cena's pretty much hometown. That's going to be Cena's final match. So it's not happening, unless there's a change, it's not happening the night of World's End. Now, if it be a pay-per-view, then I don't know, but like I said before, WWE and God forbid and NXT and God forbid TNA, if they go head-to-head with AEW pay-per-views, they're going to get swallowed up. Now, main roster, I don't know, because, you got Roman, you got Cena, you got Randy Orton, you got big stars, so I understand his competition, but, come on. We can't watch two pay-per-views at the same time. Like, what are we gonna watch? We're gonna watch like Hangman, Adam Page, and MJF. On the second screen, we got Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the world title. What are you gonna watch? I'd rather watch Roman beat Seth Rollins and win the title than Hangman Page probably losing the title to MJF. So it's like, the scales of justice. I don't know what to watch. We'll have to see what happens with all that. But like I said before, I think it's a bad idea for WWE, even NXT going head to head with AEW pay-per-views. But now the main roster might be doing it in September. We'll see what happens with that on September the 20th, I believe, with All Out going head to head with whatever the pay-per-view is, which might be Bad Blood. Then again, they can bring back Big Balls of Fire. I hope not. How about about bring back Unforgiven? Or if you want to do something in December, like to go head-to-head with World's End, how about bring back Armageddon? Those were epic pay-per-view names. I mean, epic pay-per-views too. Unforgiven was great, basically, you know, Undertaker's pay-per-view. And Armageddon was, you know, great pay-per-views at you know, during the Ruthless Aggression era. Same thing with Unforgiven. They should bring back No Way Out. They kind of did, then they kind of done away with it. What was the other one? It was another pay-per-view with an N in it. It was No Way Out. I think it was No Holds Barred. I don't even remember. I think it's No Holds Barred. Hell in a Cell, I know it's usually in October. Yeah. But I don't even know if they've done away with that. I can't think of the other pay-per-view. I know, because there was No Way Out in February. Then it was like another show in I think it was September and October with an N in it. I completely forget. But yeah, I would love for them to bring back No Way Out again. You know, they brought back Bad Blood here and there, but you know, it's great, and all, but maybe Payback comes back. I don't know. But anyway, enough about that. But yeah, so just wanted to talk about a few things, and that's that, because like I said, I would do separate videos, but like I said, if I wasn't going to end this moment this weekend, I would do those videos. Like, forget it. Tomorrow I would have done those videos, but not happening. So I just wanted to point it out now, and that's that. So Ace Austin in AEW, TNA possibly going to, possibly changing to Wednesday nights, possibly on the CW11. That's major exposure for TNA if they go to CW. And the ratings, oh boy. Ratings for that might get a Wednesday night war returning, but we'll see. Alright, enough about that boo funky. Well, not really so much boo funky. So, you get some news, and now you get your AEW Dynamite review for pretty much last night, or Wednesday night, August the 13th, 2025, and we are emanating from the Andrew J. Brady Music Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, is for losers. Now, remember back a couple of months ago, I think it was in March or sometime in the spring, they were at this great venue. I loved it. I think they're going to come back more often because it looked great. Fans were pumped up. And they put on not a banger show, but they put on a pretty damn good show. Ratings-wise, 696 ain't bad. There was 711 last week, went down this week to 696. Or, no. I think 691, I think, somewhere around there. Or 690. So close to 700,000 views, which is not bad. NXT, I think, got around 700 and something. So kind of neck and neck with the ratings over the last few weeks. I mean, last week was close. This week, NXT kind of pulled away a little bit, but I mean, do we really care about the ratings these days? Not so much. Alright, so our commentary team, as always, the man behind the mask, Excalibur. Well, he's a Met fan. Not so happy. I don't understand with the Mets, man. They have just fallen off the face of the earth. 13 of 15 they've lost. 5 back of the Phillies. It could have been 3 back. If they didn't lose the night before tonight, or last night if you're watching from on the replay, if they didn't blow a 6-0 lead. No, it was 6-0. Then they lost 11-6. Atlanta got 9 runs. I know JD was coming in, you know, he had an orgasm in his pants with his tiny little cock, but, you know. Are the Braves actually going to make the playoffs? Nope. Not even a wild card spot. So enjoy the win last night and the night before on Tuesday night. I mean, enjoy it, JD, but your team still sucks. Not, I mean, as worse as the Mets are doing right now. Mets can't get a big lead. They choke it because the pitching just, I don't know, can't get out of the fucking fourth inning, and then you tax the bullpen. Supposedly the best bullpen in the league. They bring in one of the best closers in the game, Halsey. Hell, and bring in Hell's Bells. How about hell? You get out of here. You can go to hell. Shit. He's come in at least 2 games. 2 games I've seen him come in. He's blown the lead. I mean, last night he blew the lead. He blew it. Mets were up, I believe. They were up, I think, 2-1 or 3-2. Halsey comes in, gives up 2 runs, and that was the game. Mets lost 4-3. And now they lead the Cincinnati Reds by a half game for the final wildcard spot with 40 to play. And freaking Lindor hits a home run. They were doing pretty, I mean, the night before, they were just hitting, Alonso breaks the record, which for most home runs as a Met. He broke Strawberry's record. Now he's at 254. Don't think he's going to hit 300 till maybe next year, maybe, but I think he'll get close to 300 before he gets traded or he just finishes his career as a Met. But in any case, just the Mets just are horrible right now. Horrible. I can't watch them anymore. I get excited when they're leading, and then I'm like, guy gets 1 out. Next thing you know, oh, he walked the guy. I'm like, oh, here we go. Next guy up, double, scores the tying run, or gets him the second and third. Then the next guy gets up, walks him, and then the next guy hits a grand slam. And then I'm like, what happened? And then you bring in garbage pitchers like Reed Garrett and Black Bum, who should be traded. Both of them should be gone by the end of the year. Or after the season's over. Get rid of both of them. Revamp the bullpen with some people that can actually pitch good. And then rework the starting rotation. I know Peterson, he was good. Now he's going back to his Dick Jekyll and Hyde days. Senga, the same thing. Even though he pitched a pretty good game tonight, but he's usually Jekyll and Hyde. The so-called tribal chief, Show Manaya. Couple good starts, garbage. And you got Frankie Montes, that bum from fucking Cincinnati. Should have never got. He's now in the bullpen. He got a little bit pissed off. Well, you suck. Well, why? You know why you suck? Because you suck. You got injured. You come in. You suck. You have maybe 1 or 2 good games, and then you suck again. So what's Carlos Mendoza, that idiot, by the way? What does Mendy have to do? You're going to the bullpen, whether you like it or not. You want to go to the minors? We'll send you to the minors. We'll get rid of you. Have to eat the money, but still, because we got him on a 2-year deal, I believe. Should have re-signed Severino. Should have re-signed it because he had a great year last year. Kind of faltered in the playoffs, but still, you don't sign the guy, and you bring in a bum like Frankie Montes from the Reds, and he didn't have a great year last year. Bruh. Uncle Stevie, what happened there? Cousin Dave, what happened? Why do you get these rentals that don't amount to anything? And then you had a good trade deadline. You get Cedric Mullins, you get Halsey, and then Halsey's just not. He's underachieving and underperforming. Mullins is doing all right, not great, but alright. But And they bring in Tyler Rogers, who did okay tonight, but you know. And then I'm bringing up one of their big stud pitchers, Nolan McLean, to pick Saturday against Seattle. I hope he does okay, but I'm not looking forward to it. I should have brought up the Japanese guy, Jonah. I think his name was Jonah. Mr. Tong, T-O-N-G, by the way. Should have brought him up to pitch on Saturday, not McLean. Because he's going up against a pretty damn good Seattle Mariners team. I think the Mets might get swept this weekend by Seattle. And pretty much, I think the playoffs are pretty much might be fading faster than, So, Met fans are mad, they're booing. I mean, Uncle Stevie's at the game, he's at the game tonight, and he's like, something has to happen. Closed door meeting, shake up. I don't know what the Mets can do right now. I think they're just riding out the rest of the season right now. But with 40 games left, and you're 5 games out of the division, and you have a slim half-game lead over the final wild card, and if the playoffs started today, guess who they play? Philly. And the Phillies are like chomping at the bit to get revenge on the Mets for last year in the NLDS. They're chomping at the bit to send the Mets home. Whether they're in the playoffs in the wild card round, or what happens. But they have a big 7 games coming up that could pretty much decide the division. But if the Mets can wake up, smell the coffee, and get back in the division, I think by the end of this month, if they're about 2-3 games out, if they take 2 or 3 at home, I think they can make a good September run. That 4-game series in Philly is going to really determine if the Mets are going to the playoffs, with either winning the division or getting a wild card spot. But if they don't win 5 of those 7 games, done. And I thought a pretty good season they had, but they had a red hot start in April, went through May, and then June, downhill. Kind of like a reverse of last year, when they stunk in April, stunk in May, and then had a resurgence, 70 wins from June all the way to the playoffs. It just feels like we just flipped the script this year. But anyway, alright, enough about baseball, enough about that. Alright, so Taz, because I was bringing up Taz. So I had Taz, and Tony Baloney Schiavone. Alright, we got that. Alright, so we started off the show with Maxwell Jacob Knocker, MJF, the CMLL Light Heavyweight Champion, with a face-to-face confrontation with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. You love him, you can't get enough of him, and that's the Hangman Adam Page, about to get on the mic and do some cowboy shit. But no physicality, because if there was physicality, I think Max loses his, I don't know what happens, but anyway, I think they get fined or suspended, some shit like that. But this promo cooked. I loved it. Basically, he starts off saying, you have a right to be angry, and, it's like, the only reason you're standing right now is because I haven't broken you yet. And then Paige just goes right to Max, smacks the mic at him. He's like, you haven't broken me yet, motherfucker! Stuff like that. He's cursing up a storm. He says, you can call me Seabiscuit all you want, but remember how Seabiscuit ended? He won. So he's basically baiting Max to execute his contract, which he won at all in, And be a man about it, Hogan. Basically, be a man, Hogan! So, MJF gets right, he gets like, it's like, alright, you want me to execute the contract? You got it, I have executed my contract, and we're gonna fight at Forbidden Door for the world title. And Page is like, well, thank you very much. And then he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. And, basically, Page is like, take your shot and see if you can beat me. So you have nobody to help you now because Hertzing said, nope, not to you, Max. So you're gonna have to do it on your own. And he's like, I am not losing my title in my first title defense. So there is a chance that Hangman Page retains at Forbidden Door, but I have this feeling that MJF is gonna beat Hangman Page at Forbidden Door. So Adam Page is gonna be like a 1.5 month champion. This is gonna be like he's a placeholder for MJF to win the belt and go through the end of the year with the belt until a possible date with I don't know who, but let's see. But that promo cooked, and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Just a chef's kiss. Loved it. All right. After that, we got a recap of what happened last week. With hi guys, it's me, Darby. I just want you to know I'm from Seattle, and I'm keeping you up late at night to tell you I love you all. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so we saw Darby basically kidnap William Yuta, put him in a body bag, and almost ran him over. And then he basically made the challenge to fight Moxley at Forbidden Door. So speaking of John Moxley, the hometown boy, he comes out with William Yuta and Marina Shafir, and basically he says, he's outside before coming in because he has a match coming with Kevin Knight. But before he goes into the building, he says, Darby, whatever you're thinking is going to happen at Forbidden Door, it's not going to happen. Basically meaning Darby's going to whip his ass, kill him, or whatever. You know, blah, blah, blah. So basically he said no for now. Well, we got that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we get to Moxley taking on Kevin Knight. We saw Moxley and Speedball Mike Bailey last week. Moxley won that match, and then afterwards they beat the crap out of Speedball, but then Kevin Knight comes in and makes the save, technically, with Darby, you know, doing all the shit last week. Alright. So this was a pretty good match. There was chances that Kevin Knight had chances to win. Speedball Mike Bailey at ringside. Marina Shafir and William Yuta, the useless one, at ringside. Get to the end. They go up top. Moxley rakes across the back. Ow! Only for Kevin Knight to grab a top rope superplex. And then Moxley comes back and hits a Gilmore Kata! Bang! Out of nowhere, which you never see it coming. Remember that. You'll never see it coming. You think you know when it's coming, but you don't. And I can hit any variation of it. So anyway, Moxley hits that, drops Kevin Knight for a near fall, but Kevin Knight comes right back, sending Moxley to the outside. Then a slingshot dive, flippy dippity doo connects. He goes for the UFO splash, and Moxley got his knees up, and then Moxley with the bulldog choke, and basically Kevin Knight goes night-night, no pun intended. So Moxley gets the win. Match was alright, 3 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Moxley keeps the choke on, and then Speedball Mike Bailey comes in. He gets a beat down, and then Darby comes out, but doesn't come out from like the ceiling. He's not in the balcony. He's not even, in the crowd or anything like that. He comes out normally, comes out with a skateboard and a body bag, and he slowly goes to the ring, and he starts beating up on William Yuta, beating up on Mox a little bit. Marina Shafir barely does anything. And Darby gets the better of William Yuta, puts him in a body bag where he belongs, because William Yuta's the type of guy that doesn't sleep in bed. That's sounding wrong, but whatever. Anyway. So he puts William Yuta in a body bag, but then Claudio Castagnoli, the Swiss, he comes in and beats the crap out of him, and then he unzips the body bag, takes William Yuta out, and William Yuta looked like he was like, oh, it's in a body bag. He was like, ugh. It's like, what was in there, So Claudio puts Darby in a body bag and beats him up, hits a spinning torture axe slam, when he just, and then they get a chair, and they're about to pulverize Darby's neck, but then Will Ocean Spray, reach for the sky, whoa, bam! He comes out of nowhere. He's back after, I think about a week or two so ago, he told Tony Schiavone he was going to get his neck and his shoulder looked at. He was going to take some time off, and then maybe come back for a Forbidden Door. So anyway, he comes out for the save, and then he gets on the mic and says, you try to break my neck, now I'm gonna try to break your neck, Blove, you fucking prick. Some shit like that. And he says, Mox, you can bring your friends, and I'll get my friends, and they'll get their friends. That reference. So, basically tells Mox, bring your friends, I'll bring my friends, and we'll have a lights-out steel cage match. Meaning, blood and guts. Because there's no way that in London they're going to have a regular ring, and they're going to have this big steel cage surrounding it, and there's 10 men in the cage. Because it's 5-on-5. Which makes no freaking sense to me. So anyway, it's going to be Claudio, William Yuta, Moxley, and then Mox is like, well, I need 2 partners, so he goes into the Jobber's locker room. He finds the Bucks there, which is sad. So the Bucks are gonna be the partners, I believe, for Moxley's team, and Ocean Spray is gonna have himself, Kenny by God Omega, Ibushi, Tanahashi. I thought was gonna have a singles match. That's not going to happen, obviously. Unless he does the pre-show, which I think is wrong for Tanahashi. And it's wrong for him to be in this cage match. Why? Now, I forget the 5th guy. I think it's Darby. So Team Ocean Spray is Ocean Spray, Darby, Tanahashi, Ibushi, and Kenny by God Omega to take on the Bucks and the Death Riders in a 5-on-5 lights-out steel cage match. Which is basically blood and guts. That's what I think. I think they're going to bring in the double cage. But we'll see. If it's a regular cage, I don't know how you fit 10 guys in there. It's an MLW now. Come on. How bad that match was, what they called it, War Games, or, what did they call it, MLW, Maximum Warfare, some shit like that. But 10 men in the cage is just too much. And then you had the poor referee in there, so it's really 11 guys. Beating the crap out of each other in a little wiggy-ding cage. in a small fucking ring. I don't know how they're gonna do this. Unless if they have to do blood and guts, because 10 men cannot fit. Even in indie promotions, I've seen a War Games regular cage match with 10 guys in it. Doesn't work. Like I said, the poor referee has to like maneuver with all the chaos that's going on, and then all he has to do is count the pin. And we've seen the regular cage from in AEW, which is like Hell in a Cell, basically. So they can technically do a 10-man cage match, but I'd rather do blood and guts. So you have you have a bigger ring, a big cage, with 10 men going wild. You can go on top of the cage, you can go outside the ring, cause chaos. But it's gonna be we know it's gonna be bloody as fuck. It's gonna be violent. I don't know how violent it might be, but we'll have to see what happens with that. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we got a recap of FTR attacking Edge at Double or Nothing, and Edge seeking revenge. So we get that. We got Stokely and Edge coming up a little bit later. But before we get to that, we have the ladies before 9 o'clock. So we had a 6-woman tag team match. We had 8 belts. Mercedes Moné, the CEO, chicken noodle soup with something on the side. Okay, got that. Then we had 2 members of the Triangle of Madness, the Spider Lady Dekla and the beautiful Sky Blue. They take on the one and only Queen Aminata, Alex Windsor, and resident fun girl, Willow Nightingale. Bam! Alright, we got that. But before we even start the match, we get the AEW Women's Champion, Timeless Toni Storm, darling! What's up? Get your tits out and tango! Alright, she's there, and then, not to be outdone, her opponent at Forbidden Door, the forever Ring of Honor champion, Athena, who's taking on my 4th amazingly hot Asian wife. She's back, Mina! So, Mina is facing off against Athena at Death Before Dishonor, August the 29th, for the Ring of Honor World title. And, basically, they're billing it as Athena's 69th win. She's 68-0 in Ring of Honor. 900 and 70 something. I think it's 970 at this point right now. I think she's losing it at Final Battle in December. To who? I think she might be a double champion by then if she beats Toni Storm at Forbidden Door, which may or may not happen. Because there's rumors that Mercedes Moné might go after Toni Storm and have a rematch from All In. But do we want to see that? I kind of do and I kind of don't. Because I'd rather not see a rematch and have Mercedes be possibly 9 belts. But I think by the end of the year, Mercedes is going to lose at least all or half of those belts. I think the only one she'll have left by the end of the year will be the TBS title, and she'll probably lose it to maybe Athena, but then we'll see what happens, because they're kind of like, they're teaming up, they're staring each other down. I think we're eventually going to get a rematch from the Owen Hart Cup semis, and I think Athena will win the TBS title. Because she'll eventually lose the Ring of Honor title to maybe Billy Starks when she finishes her story, Jordan! Finish the story! Like, seriously. Alright, we get that. Alright, back to the match, which was at just under 10 minutes. All four women are in the ring. Toni Storm and Athena kind of like, yay, everything's going great. And then Sky Blue with a super kick on Alex Windsor. But she charges into a spine buster. Then Alex Windsor locks in the sharpshooter and Sky Blue tapped out. So get the win, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, Toni Storm and Athena get into a big old brawl in the crowd, which I think went to like the concession area or somewhere in the crowd. And then all 6 women are in the ring. They have a cat fight! And then we see Athena and Toni Storm come all the way to the ramp where Toni fights back and she and Alex Windsor take down Mercedes Moné and Athena. Toni gets on the mic and says, you want to fight? We're going to do this in Glasgow, Scotland next week, which is obviously taped. Which is going to be taped. Collision is already taped for this week. And next week as well, I believe is taped too, because it's in Scotland, obviously. I'm surprised it's not live this week. But it is at 8 o'clock, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why it's not live. But the results are out, the spoilers are out. Go watch it. Go watch it on Saturday, I should say. We'll get that. Alright, so Toni Storm basically says, we're going to have a tag team match in Scotland, and then tells Athena and Mercedes, whip out your tits and tango! And then her and Alex Windsor, tango! And Mina's somewhere, somewhere in her bedroom, pretty unhappy. But at least, Mina gets a Ring of Honor women's title shot, and she says, you are not 69 Mina! Hey now. I 69 her all the time. 69 me done! No. We get that, but yeah. Athena looking for her 69th consecutive win at Death Before Dishonor, but she has to get through the interim Ring of Honor Women's TV Champion, and that's my girl Mina Shirakawa. So will the streak end? I doubt it. I think it will end December the what's that date? I think it's December the 5th is Final Battle. It's early this year, which is strange. I don't think it's ever been early in the history of Ring of Honor, the 23-year history. I don't ever think it's been this early in December. It's usually been around the midpoint of December, right before Christmas, obviously. So, I think they want to do this early, so they have because the Hangman scene is going to be used, I hope, for the Christmas residency. Whether that still happens or not, because Tony Khan said they're going to come back to the Hammerstein, and I thought for Final Battle, like last year, Final Battle, Collision taping, Dynamite on 34th Street, Collision on 34th Street, and then they had Final Battle the same night as SmackDown. And then Rampage, it was Rampage right after SmackDown. Because that was taped, obviously. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do. We'll get that. Alright, tag team match next week in Glasgow. Alright, we go to the back with Renee catching up to Will Oceanspray, who says he's been talking to some New Japan guys. And confirms that the former junior heavyweight champion, Hiroshi Tanahashi, is on his team. I almost said another guy, but I read my notes wrong. So Tanahashi's on the team. And then Oceanspray says, hey, tell your husband that I want him in the ring next week to talk about this cage match. So, obviously, next week the teams will be announced. So, Moxley will have his team. We have the graphic. I thought it was a botched graphic for a second, but it's actually the graphic. So next week, I think Ocean Spray will name his team. Moxley will name his team, and then we'll get an explanation what this Lights Out Steel Cage match is, which, like I said, is Blood and Guts. So I think this is the 4th or 5th Blood and Guts coming up. And it's good. That's that. Alright, enough about that. Alright, then we get to, hey kids, it's Edge, or Threshold, whatever you want to call him, takes on Stokely Hathaway, who's never had a match in his life, as he claims. Alright, so Edge gets in the ring, the crowd sings Metalingus. I still think Juice is better, but it is what it is. So he's waiting for Stokely to come out. Stokely doesn't come out at first, but then the Atlas security guards bring him out, and then Justin Roberts calls him Cope, but commentary and the signature graphics say Adam Copeland. Somebody botched. I mean, I'm like, all right, whatever. After you're banned from the ring because they come out and attack Edge, then that little restraining order goes bye-bye. So basically, you get to the match. Stokely did a couple of moves, and Edge's like, ooh, impressive. But then Edge is like, alright, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. He spears Stokely basically to hell. And then at one point, Edge goes out into the crowd. And then he has an audience poll with the fans who don't like Stokely. Then he goes to some random chick, because we all know that when Stokely's like, I'm bald, I can't get any hoes, I've been fighting my whole life. So Edge kind of uses that and asks this random chick if Stokely has a shot with her. And then the woman's like, is that a serious question? You actually being serious? Obviously, you dumb bitch! It wasn't even good looking anyway. She says no. It's like, well, yeah, you have no shot with me either. Ha! You know, sit down and eat your popcorn. Anyway, back in the ring, like I said, Edge spears Stokely. Then FTR come out, but they can't do anything. Then Edge hits a second spear. And then FTR is like, damn it! And then they start beating up on Edge, so that means the restraining order is broken. Edge beats the fuck out of them. Then a third spear. He goes for a third spear, gets cut off by Stokely throwing Tony Khan's cocaine bag in his face. That causes disqualification. And then after that, basically a beatdown on Edge. And then we hear the music go, Christian! So Christian Cage comes out with Spike, basically Janice, the Spike 2x4. He comes in and runs FTR and Stokely out of the ring. And then out of nowhere, Nick fucking Wayne, his former son, tries to jump in with a chair. But thankfully, Christian turned in time and blocked the chair shot with Spike and basically knocked the chair out of Nick Wayne's hands. And then, basically, he tries to go after Nick Wayne with Spike. Nick Wayne got out of there quickly. And then Christian hands Spike to Adam Copeland. And then they kind of back each other up. Oh, they back into each other. Then they look at each other like, huh? You almost did a Spider-Man meme. And then they turn around, And then Edge just hugs Christian. Christian with a reluctant, yeah, I'll bring it in, man. So he's not totally on board with reuniting with Edge. But then later on, we found out that Edge and Christian will team up against Nick fucking Wayne and Kip Sabian at Forbidden Door. So, little preview of what is going to happen at at All In Toronto in September for possibly those AEW tag team titles, because Brodito is taking on FTR, I think, in Glasgow, in Scotland. I thought it was going to be this week. Obviously not. If you read the spoilers, it's not happening this week. It's happening next week on Dynamite for the chance to face Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin for the AEW Tag Team titles at Forbidden Door. And like I said, this tournament was basically made for FTR to win the belts, and then possibly lose it at All In Toronto. So basically, they'll hold the belts for about a month, and then Edge and Christian will reunite, get their revenge, beat FTR, become the champions, and go on a little bitty run with it. I don't know how long. Maybe they lose. I don't think they're gonna lose it at Wrestle Dream. I doubt that. I don't even think they. Yeah, Wrestle Dream I think is happening. But I think it's later in October. I forgot what date actually. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice. So, I think they lose it at either Full Gear or they lose it at World's End. So who has to be a heel tag team, so they could lose it maybe back to FTR, or they lose it maybe to the Gates of Agony. I think it might be the Gates of Agony. I have a feeling, because I think Ricochet by the end of the year will probably be TNT. No, probably he might be Unified Champion. I doubt TNT Champion. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we go, right after that, we go to this weird-looking video, because we still have the AEW graphic on the screen, and I'm like, what the hell is this about? We see a New York City skyline, and I'm like, and then we hear, like, I think it's Frank Sinatra or maybe Pat Boone. Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people. Okay, I'm not gonna sing Crazy Train. God bless you, Dad! Ozzy! Oh, you're down there, sorry. Worship the devil! Okay. No, he doesn't. He's not down there, he's up there. With Ronnie James Dio and, everybody else. Alright, so we see that. We get all this music, like Frank Sinatra type music. And then we see, like, an orange H appear, and it's for Hook. He's sent for the man! Well, he's not, he's sleeping. Alright, so Hook is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope he cut his goddamn hair, because it looks like I don't know what he looks like. I know he's a handsome devil, and he's got a hot girlfriend, but I think he's trying to change his look up a little bit. Cut that hair a little bit. Cut that manly hair, hippie! And he's not even 40 yet, so he can't say, he's a man! He's 40! Got a beard! Can't say that. He's not even 40 yet, he's like in his 20s, so. Yeah, we got that. Alright, then we get to this weird 8-man tag team match, first time ever. Alright, so we have the Young Bucks, Jeremy and Max, Generation Me basically, who still get a jobber entrance. And then Justin Roberts with another, we refer to them as these guys. Oh man, I feel bad for the Bucks, man. Jobber entrance, Jobbertron. It just gets worse. Alright, so anyway, they team up with, who did they team up with? with Kyle Fletcher, the TNT champion, and Josh Alexander, the walking weapon. They take on Brody King, who, the undefeated hologram, and his conglomeration partner, Tomohiro Ishii. Not Ishii, it's Ishii. And their mystery partner, their mystery partner, who is the junior lightweight, the former junior lightweight heavyweight champion, a great man, a former member of Naito's LFI, and that is Hiromu Takahashi, the Time Bomb. I marked out for Takahashi when he came out. I'm like, oh shit. And Kyle Fletcher, remember, has an open contract, and he said, bring New Japan's best. So Takahashi is going to fight Fletcher for the TNT title, and I think that's going to be pretty much a banger. And not going to steal. I don't think it's going to steal the show, but I think the cage match might. But I mean, we'll see. All right, so this match was chaotic. 16 and a half minutes, getting to the end. And Hologram grabs some Hurricanranas, bringing Takahashi back in to make for the big comeback. The hot tag. Josh Alexander gets dropkicked into Kyle Fletcher in the corner. But then the Young Bucks hit Hiromu with a standing assisted sliced bread. Fletcher then shoves Hiromu, who basically kicks his way out of trouble. And Josh Alexander tries for the C4 spike on Hiromu. And he actually hits the C4 spike. No, he tries for... I had it the first time. He tries to hit the C4 spike, and then Hiromu gives him a downward spiral for a near fall. Brody King comes in. Brody King hits a flippy dippity doo for a big man. And then everybody else is doing flippy dippity doos, why not? And then back in, Hiromu gives Josh Alexander Time Bomb version 1, because there is a second one which he rarely uses. And 1, 2, 3, Hiromu Takahashi gets the win over a former TNA World Champion in under 16 and a half minutes. Alright, so that's that. And then afterwards, Kyle Fletcher's a little bit pissed off. And that's that. Alright, then we had Renee Paquette on the ramp, but then her mic didn't work. Bad production, bad audio. Fired the audio guy. Alright. Live TV, guys. Live TV happens. Alright, she then brings out Swerve with my good buddy Prince Nana. Buy his coffee, please. PrinceNanaCoffee.com. Tell him Peter Gilmore sent you. Peter Joseph sent you, I should say. Anyway, Swerve won't say if he's medically cleared or not. I didn't even know he was hurt. Because all he cares about is beating Kazuchika Okada for the unified title. Speaking of Okada, he comes out and says, Swerve, you have no chance. No chance in hell? No. So Swerve gets up in his face and goes, whose house? And then Okada gets up in Swerve's face and goes, beach. And then they start fighting. Security has to break it up. So it's going to be a fight at Forbidden Door. Swerve versus Okada for the unified title. I think Okada pretty much is going to retain. He's held up that pretty much the Continental belt. And now he has he won the Intercontinental belt from Kenny at All In. So now he holds basically like 3 belts, which should be just 1. But combined, over 500 and something days. Which is crazy. For a guy that has 3 belts, has a combined 500 days as champ. Crazy. Alright, moving on. Alright, let me take a sip of... Ah! Nature brand iced tea. No, it's Pepsi Zero. I'm trying to stay up while doing this. It's not really working because I'm pretty much about to pass out. But it is what it is. Alright, so we'll get that. Alright, then, like I said, we see Moxley in the back. I think, no, Alicia Atit is in the back. Tells Moxley that Ocean Spray has hired Hiroshi Tanahashi for his Forbidden Door team. And then Moxley's like, Tanahashi? You mean Tanahashi? He's like, fuck. Then he goes into the Jobber's dressing room. We see two guys. I thought I recognized one of them. I couldn't really, tell if it was actually him, but I don't think it was. But anyway, the Bucks are there, so he closes the door. I guess talking to the Bucks to see if he wants to team, if they want to team with him, and then Marina Shafir, Claudio, and William Yuta basically guard the door. That's that. All right, so we'll see what happens next week on the program with Moxley and Ocean Spray in the ring to possibly talk about who their teams are. All right. Then we get to Edge and Christian taking on Nick fucking Wayne and Kip Sabian. So we'll see what happens with that. We got the cage match. So that's 2 matches. The Tony Storm match, which is 3. And that's that. So basically, I think we had 3, and possibly, and Adam Page and MJF. That's 4 matches so far for Forbidden Door. Oh, and Kyle Fletcher and Romo. That makes 5. The tag team titles is 6. Swerve versus Okada is 7. I think there might be 1 or 2 more matches on the card. And then they got 0 Hour, which nobody cares about. Oh, and then they have 8 matches. So basically a full card. They have 8 matches. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to defend the IWGP title against the winner of a Fatal 4-Way match this Saturday on Collision. So we have Danny Garcia, Nigel McGuinness, we love, and 2 other guys who faces Zack Sabre Jr. And obviously, if you haven't been following what happened at All In last year, we saw Nigel and Zack Sabre Jr. basically put on a wrestling clinic early on in the casino battle royale match. So I think you can tell who wins this match on Collision this Saturday night. And if you say Danny Garcia, you are wrong. It's one of those Hammonagers. And that's pretty much it. Alright, then we get to the main event. Non-title trios match. We have the AEW trios champions, the Ops, Samoa Joe, who's back from his little time off, for his little shoulder injury. Shibata and Powerhouse Will Hobbs. They take on La Facción de Ignobles. That's Rouge's team of Rouge, the Beast Mortas, and Jalistico. And this was a fun 9-minute match, basically. We're getting to the end. Shibata comes in and fights off Jalistico. And then Rouge. And then Shibata gets up, trades strikes with Rouge in the corner. Another big shot is enough for a hot tag. The Powerhouse Will Hobbs, who cleans house. And then Samoa Joe comes in really quickly and then locks in the Coquina Clutch on Jalistico. So I think the finish was the finish of the match was rushed, I think. But because the show didn't end, I think, so 10:05, close to 10:10, which is the usual end show runtime. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But decent match, and that's pretty much it. All right, so we thought that was the end of the show, but wait, there's more. We go to the dreaded parking lot where Adam Page is leaving the building. Renee Paquette comes up to him to talk about some stuff, and then Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker comes in and ambushes Hangman and basically throwing him onto the hoods of cars, slamming his head like 6 times onto the hood of a car. I was like, where's the blood in that? Oh, shit. And then basically he says, "I'll see you." I said, "Now you know how it feels to be broken," or some shit. So I mean, we'll see what happens on Collision, and then we'll definitely see what happens next week in Glasgow with Hangman Adam Page and Maxwell Jacob Knocker. And that's it. Alright, that ends the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching this video. And I gave Dynamite 7.25 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. And that's pretty much it. Alright, guys, I am out of here. Gonna pretty much zonk out. I will be back probably in a few hours. I would say about 11 o'clock or so with your NXT review, and then hopefully before 1 o'clock. So I do have to leave around 1:30 to run an errand, and then I have to run an errand, and then the missus is meeting me. And then we're going. Basically, we're going to Jersey after that. So I will do my NXT review and my Raw review in a few short hours. So stay tuned for that. NXT review right here on the channel, and my Raw review, getting you ready for SmackDown later tomorrow night, or basically tomorrow night. For that. And then, no, I'm not doing any predictions for Triple Mania, because it's too late, and I'm going to be out anyway, so. And, that's that. So, like I said, your SmackDown and Collision reviews will come on Sunday afternoon. And then TNA review on Monday, and a possible Triple Mania review also right here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. So lots of videos coming your way. Please hit that bell and turn on all notifications so you don't miss it. And if you do, well, unsubscribe, resubscribe again, hit the bell again, and hopefully the second time will work. And if you're still not getting it, then blame YouTube. And that's pretty much it for that. Alright, I'm about to pass out, guys. Thanks for watching. 7.25 out of 10 stars for AEW Dynamite. Great show. And we see what happens on Collision on Saturday night. And we'll worry about what happens at Emergence tomorrow. I'm not reviewing that. I might do the when I do my SmackDown review before we do the TNA review. During the TNA review on Monday afternoon, I'll bring up the Emergence results as well near the end of the video. So I'll get that. All right, so lots of videos coming your way. Please hit that bell, like I said, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss it. Because if you do, you pretty much fucked up. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.